Hello and welcome to Lean Into Your Light. I am one of your hosts, Kimberly K. French, and I am here with.
Lori Urbaniak, your other host. Welcome.
Yeah,
We
what are we talking
are,
about today, Lori?
well, I don't know. I think we should talk a little bit about people pleasing because that has been a theme in my life
Mm-hmm.
recently. And I think everybody can relate to it. I think it's something that we've all done at some time in our life. And sometimes we
Yeah.
recognize it and sometimes we don't.
Yeah.
So that is
It has
something.
been huge this week for me, so I think that's the perfect topic. Perfect topic. And
Yes.
I'm
It's
learning all kinds of life lessons.
Yes, it's universal. And
Mm-hmm.
I guess there's really nothing wrong with people pleasing unless it starts to affect how you are functioning in your daily life when that is all you
Mm-hmm.
do. Because I really feel like there are people who
Mm-hmm.
are natural pleasers, and that doesn't mean in a pathological way, but there are some of us that is just ingrained in us, and some
Yeah.
of it, like first responders, they're natural people pleasers. They want to help, so maybe helpers instead of people pleasers. I don't know, but I think maybe helpers that turn to people pleasing is where the line
Mm.
gets crossed, where it becomes unhealthy
Yeah.
for us.
Do you see a lot of people pleasing in your clients?
Yes, and it leads to anxiety. It leads to
Mm.
depression. It leads to anxiety because why? You're not doing what is authentically you.
Mm.
You're like so many steps farther down the road. If I do this, then they'll think this of me, which leads them to think that. And, it's like, whoa, no, 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 no.
Yeah.
Right now, what's making you feel good? Is it and why? That's kind of what I think you can look at to recognize, like, are you people pleasing? Yes or no? If you are, why? Why are you people pleasing? Is it
Yeah.
to fill you up in a nice way, or is it to get other people to pay attention to you, whether it's negative, positive, or in between attention you're getting? Why are
Mm-hmm.
you doing it?
Yeah.
Why do you want people to recognize what you're doing? Um, I'm sorry, hold on. You go ahead
Yeah.
for a minute.
Absolutely. Well, I think that brings me to I'm just going to put my stuff out there because
Okay.
I talk about people pleasing. And I wrote a book, as you know,
Mhm.
where I speak about my experiences with people pleasing and like, oh, but I'm not people pleasing as much anymore. And here I find myself today having this awareness like, oh,
Aha
wait a
moment.
minute. I am doing it as much as I was before, and I'm falling into the old patterns
Yeah.
if I'm not careful. So I'm really looking at that this week because I've had some like wake up moments where I'm doing all these things for everybody else and I'm not taking care of my own needs or my family needs
Yeah.
because I'm helping everybody else
Right.
and not getting paid for it.
Oh,
And so yeah, so I'm like I can look at that. And I think that might be I'll be happy to be the guinea pig today to talk about my own stuff as a teaching moment for both myself, but then as an example for others. So,
yeah.
why am I doing people pleasing? I like the feedback. I love to get the like, you're doing a great job, Kim, or pat on the backs, or all of
Mhm.
those things. And if I'm just like, if I'm in the moments of like just taking care of myself, I don't always get the feedback from others.
Mhm.
Right? And so I think that's where I get tripped up a little bit is I get a little bit like seduced by other
Oh,
people's feedback
okay.
versus, loving myself and just like finding my own joy. Right. I'm
Yes.
helping other people find their joy and giving them what they need or want and sacrificing my own. And so I think, when you talk about depression, anxiety, I've struggled with both of those things most of my life.
Yeah.
And I can see where that might be really linked.
Right. Well, when you are basing your joy on what others give you back,
Mm-hmm.
that's you're going to get your heart broken. You're going to get
Mm-hmm.
sadness and hurt because they're not they don't know that they're you're pivoting towards them to get your validation for being a good person. And
Yeah.
so when you do something and you put it out there and it goes unnoticed and you're like, what? And the other person's like, well, I mean, okay, thanks. That's like devastating to you, right? But when you are looking outside to get the positive feedback, that's going to set you up for sometimes not
Yeah.
what you wanted out of it. That what your goal was to have someone throw a celebration and they barely notice it. You're devastated,
Yeah.
right?
When I was younger, I had that a lot, right?
Mm,
As I've grown older, I don't expect it, but I think that's still why I still seek it, even if I don't get it.
yeah.
I'm okay with it as an older individual who's,
Hmm.
but when I was younger, man, I was that and a bag of chips because I was like, they didn't notice me. Oh, oh, and
Yeah.
then you'd go into that like little pity party.
Hmm.
I've done enough work on myself to know that I don't expect that anymore. But
Yeah.
it's a really good point because not everyone does the
Right.
inner work. And even those of
Yeah.
us that do, we still fall back into those old patterns and have to like pull ourselves back out.
Right. Well, and getting feedback, I would dive a little deeper into what that's all about. Like,
Mm-hmm.
where does that need come from? And why is it external feedback? Why isn't it
Mm.
you giving yourself a high five or noticing, acknowledging your own accomplishments? I've lived
Mm.
alone without another adult in the house for almost 25 years. So
Mm.
I don't get any feedback at all. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't get that. Not that I don't want it or it would sure be nice if
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know if I just shut that part off of myself, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't give myself feedback. Like I don't sit and reflect and go, well, you did a great job. I mean, every once in a while. But even I think that falls into like I've written the 4 books and I've never patted myself on the back. I mean, I've never
Mm.
said, "Holy crap, like what? You did that?" I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So there's like so many layers to
Yeah.
feedback, why it's important to us, how we can get it for ourselves, but to help understand the whys behind our people pleasing
Yeah.
is maybe that
Well,
feedback loop.
before I went on camera, we had talked a little bit about this, and you had said something that really hit home to me. Like, whatever you're doing, part of that feedback is you enjoying the process, right? So, if you're enjoying the process and like being in a flow state,
Mm-hmm.
that is feedback. And to seek those moments of doing,
Mm-hmm.
and that's like authentic. You're
Yeah.
authentically in your like core genius and doing the
Yeah.
things you love automatically no matter the outcome. And seeking
Mm-hmm.
that more really spoke to me because I know what I love to be in flow. I know
Mm-hmm.
where I'm in flow and choosing that more versus like choosing things that are pleasing to other. I'm trying to, do something
Yeah.
to get a pat on the back. I'm going to
Yes.
focus there.
Yes. That's it. I think when you're in the
Mm-hmm.
flow and you're feeling joy that radiates out, everybody else sees
Mm-hmm.
it, feels it, knows it, and they go, "Ooh,
Yeah.
that's so great." And you're like, "Really? Okay, because I thought you
It's so
wanted me to
simple.
do this." And they're like, "No, this feels good now."
Yeah.
So when you're authentic and you listen to your intuition, spirit, however you want to call it,
Mm-hmm.
there's no wrong turns, right? How can
Mm-hmm.
you be anxious when you are you? You
Yeah.
can't. It just doesn't happen. There are situations that might give you some anxiety, knew this, knew that, whatever, but that doesn't mean it's not okay to feel anxious. But when you're in
Mm-hmm.
that constant state of looking for someone else to tell you you're doing a good job, you know, I
Yeah.
think Shakespeare said the greatest, what is it? Oh, I always mix it up. I see it in my head. Um, uh, ha- like having expectations is the greatest way to have heartbreak of other people,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah. For
So
sure.
anyway,
It's such a
yeah,
common problem, and I think this is a really good topic because we all
yeah.
struggle with it. I struggle with it. You probably do.
Hmm.
And,
Yep,
it's just a common thing. It's just like catching ourselves.
yep.
So to summarize, because I think we're at the end of our time, but to summarize, what are like those 3 points that you would tell people that we
Well,
discussed?
recognize when you're people pleasing. and be okay with it. Don't judge yourself. Don't be mean to yourself. Don't hear that critical voice. Just say, oh, I'm people pleasing. And then why are
Mm-hmm.
you people pleasing? Why? Understand the
Mm-hmm.
why behind it. Well, because I really was feeling like crap and I wanted someone to say, yay, you, instead of giving that validation to me. And then adjust
Mm-hmm.
your expectations of it, you know? Okay, all right. I know why I'm doing it. So I'm going to maybe give myself that love that I need, that self assurance. Maybe I need to set different boundaries with people who are expecting me to always
Mm-hmm.
please them, and hold that boundary and say that's not working for me right now. And then
Mm-hmm.
maybe have a little talk with yourself about why you are looking for feedback outside of yourself. I think those would be where to start. Make sense?
So I heard four things.
Four things. Yes.
Recognize,
Why?
ask why, adjust, and talk to yourself
Yep. In a nice way. Be kind.
in a nice way. Yeah.
Yep.
Be kind to yourself.
Yes.
I love it.
Okay.
All right. Well, that wraps up this. I think, that gives me something to, focus on this week, and just reframe my whole thing and search for the things that bring me joy. That's my
Yes.
focus this week.
There you go. There's no wrong way to do this. It's just paying attention to yourself. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, until next time, thanks for joining us. And please hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed this little chat. And we look forward to seeing you on the next one.
Yep. See ya.